Hey guys, so we are actually going to be all done with our unit on circles, and we're going to, for the rest of the year, be talking about like area, surface area, volume, stuff like that. So today we're starting off with area, and we're going to do rectangles, squares, parallelograms, and triangles. So first, just to talk about like what area is, in case you don't know, it's basically the amount of space that's like inside of something. So like if I wanted the area of this calculator, it would be like how many square units are covering this. Like if I wanted to paint this, how much would I need? I would need the area of it. So one thing that's important about area is we always label the units. So it's always square units, whether it be square inches or square centimeters, whatever it is, you always want to label your units. Okay, so I'm just going to go over the formulas for each one and then just do a couple quick examples. All right, let's go. Okay, so first we're going to talk about area of squares and rectangles. Remember that a square is a type of rectangle. So the area for a rectangle, you probably learned all of these formulas like back in middle school or maybe even elementary school. But the area for a rectangle is length times width. A square is a rectangle. So technically the area for a square rather, is also length times width. But sometimes the area for a square is listed like this. It says A equals S squared. And S just stands for side because remember in a square, all the sides are the same. So you're still doing technically length times width, but it's the same number that you're multiplying by itself. Sometimes you may even be given a square and they only give you one side. Like say I said, this is a square, find the area. And they only give you one side, that's because you're supposed to know that all the sides are the same and then you just multiply it by itself once. So let's do an example down here. A square, here's a square right here. These are all 18. All the sides technically are 18, so they could have labeled this side 18 as well. But for this one, area is just 18 times 18, or 18 squared if you'd rather do that. 18 times 18 is 324. And then you want to make sure you label units. When you label square units, you can either do like this, miles squared, or you can do square miles. It doesn't matter. You don't have to do both, obviously. You just pick whichever you prefer. Okay, number 2 is a rectangle. So this one is just length times width. Now the order doesn't matter. Like technically length is the longer one. So in this case, 8. But like if you do 6 times 8, it's the same as 8 times 6. So it doesn't matter. So the area here is just going to be 48 square inches, or inches squared. Okay, so that's rectangles and squares. It's pretty easy, so I only did one example of each one. Next, we're going to talk about parallelograms. So here is the formula right here. The formula for a parallelogram is the base times the height. Now, for parallelograms and triangles, it's really important that you recognize that the base and the height are perpendicular. I'm going to write that up here. Base and height are perpendicular. Hopefully you guys remember what perpendicular means. It means they intersect to form a right angle. So, like if you look in this picture here, notice they have the base and then this is the height. See how those are perpendicular? Let me grab a different color. This side, this slanted side here, not the height. The base and the height must be perpendicular. So this is the height, this is the base, and you just multiply them. So if you look over here at example 3, we have the base is 4, the height is 1.5. So area equals 4 times 1.5, which is 6. And that's yards squared or square yards. I gave another parallelogram just so to show you like what happens if you're given more than just the base and the height and you have to figure out which ones the base and the height are. So again, remember the base and the height are perpendicular. So notice that this 15.1 is perpendicular to this 7. So those are the base and the height. The 14.9 here, don't need it. It's there as a distractor. So this is just going to be 15.1 times 7. Which is 105.7, and it's feet squared or square feet. Okay, so that's that one. Now let's do triangles. So triangles are base times height divided by 2, as you can see right here. Again, the base and the height must be perpendicular. They have to intersect at a right angle. So if you take a look at example 5, the base and the height here, we were given all three sides. The base and the height are always the ones that are perpendicular that intersect to form right angles. So it's going to be 24 and 32. So this is going to be 24 times 32 and then divide by 2. You may see some places, or you may remember even maybe, that the area of a triangle is 1/2 times base times height. Oh boy, my stylus is starting to give out on me. I don't know why. So just bear with me if my work is a little bit messy. So 1/2 times base times height is another way to show this same formula. So for number 5, let's finish that. 24 times 32 is 768. And then it's 768 divided by 2, which I'll just write up here, is 384. Now this one didn't have units labeled, so we would just write units squared. So that's number 5. And then last one, first we have to figure out which ones the base and the height are. Remember, they have to be perpendicular. So it's going to be this is the base and this is the height. So we're going to have area equals 20 times 7.4. Again, sorry, this is so messy. It's the last one though, so I'm just going to push through. So that's 20 times 7.4, which is 148, divided by 2, which is 74. And that's kilometers squared. Okay, so that's it. I mean, I just figured me showing you like 1 or 2 examples of each one would be good enough. If you get stuck or have any questions, feel free to come to our help session at 11:30. All right, guys, have a great day.